Hello, my dear friends. You are welcome again to Succeeding God's Way with Austin Okosodo. Today, I will continue from where I stopped in my last episode. We have been considering a topic titled How God Reveals His Purpose. We have had part 1, part 2, this is part 3. In case you missed the 2 other episodes, please check out for them on our YouTube channel, Succeeding God's Way with Austin Okosodo. You will see them. Today, I want to take the part 3. The other part or way that God shows us or reveals His purpose is through the burden He lays in our hearts. Burden. As a matter of fact, this for me is one of the commonest ways God leads us into our purpose. He placed a burden in our hearts, a burden for something, a burden to get certain things done, certain things achieved, certain transformation in our society, in the life of people, in your generation, in the world that you live in, and so on. That burden will just be there. You just realize that once the Lord has placed that burden in you, you can't lose the burden until you start doing something about it. It will remain there. It's not going to drive you mad. It's not going to make you sad or sorrowful. It often will give you joy because with time it looks like something that you look at it that this thing can actually be done. If this thing can be done, it's going to be wonderful. You see yourself actually trying to buy into it. Sometimes there will be difficulties. As it's normal, you will find difficulties and challenges. How will it be done? If it can be done, it will be great. That's how you'll be seeing it. Whenever you think about it, you are excited about it. Yes, sometimes when you look at difficulties involved, you may be a bit afraid and wondering, can this be God? But I can assure you, if it's a burden that is dropped in your heart by God, it will never go. It will remain there until you do something about it. Let me give a story of Nehemiah in the Bible. Nehemiah was a man, living in the palace with the king. And he was like a cupbearer to the king. Imagine the kind of level the man was. But he was just there enjoying himself. And then some of the brethren that had traveled back to the land of Israel after captivity got to the land, and then they visited the land where Nehemiah was and brought information back to him about the state of the land of Israel. Oh, the walls are broken down, the people are not secure, they are not safe, and so on. A burden sparked off in the heart of Nehemiah. How can the place where my forefathers are buried lie in ruins? That was just it. Sometimes one thing you hear, one thing God makes you to hear or see, can just spark off a burden within your heart. And then from that day, you just realize that you can't take your mind away from it. It's like God has just pinned you down, calling your attention to it, and wanting you to do something about it. All of a sudden, you just realize that as you begin to do something about it, it becomes something you do the rest of your life. So this is one of the ways God also reveals His purpose to us, through the burden He lays in our heart. Do you imagine missionaries who go to the northern part of our country, for example, Nigeria, where there's so much religious violence and people are killed anyhow? Many pastors have lost their life, and yet burden for the lost souls is what is driving them. Even though they may be killed, they don't care. There is something in them driving. Go and check it, the body for the lost soul. What about Christ that came down to us? He came because He had a burden to save the lost. So just like that. Now, there are some of us who are engineers today. Some of the things we are doing now, it was burden for our great nation. We just sat down and looked at our country. We look at everything important into this nation, and then we are just asking ourselves, can't we also do it? Must these white people bring everything for us? Don't we have the same brain they have? Do they have 2 heads? They are just like us. We too can do it. That burden was just in us. And before you know it, we say, no, we are going to do something about this. And then somebody will look at you, what are you talking about? Don't you know white people, they are witches and wizards? You think they are just ordinary people? they have all those spiritual powers that is helping them to do it. You hear all kinds of things. But some of us say, well, we also have it too. I can do all things through Christ that strengtheneth me. So all manner of things too, we try to encourage ourselves, and God lead that body in our hearts to also go ahead and begin to do something that will help our nation, help the black race too. We started. When I met my mentor, Dr. Samson Makiwa, that was when I realized that there is this common burden that all of us had. I just started reading about him in books, and then how he himself was wondering in his time, when he's an elderly person, in his time too, he was wondering, why are bicycles imported to Nigeria? Can't we also manufacture it? So somehow, as he grew after his schooling, he decided, no, I want to do something in this direction. I want to also do those things that the white people are doing. That burden was in him. Based on that, he set up a company that handles such aspects. Today, it's one of the best equipment manufacturers we have in our nation today. But it was driven by a burden. Just like when I started too, a burden also drove me. Until I met him, I discovered that we had similar burden. So God uses burden. A woman was working in an office. All of a sudden, God dropped a burden in her heart to take care of mad people in the street. She could not believe it. I'm not a psychiatric doctor. How will I take care of mad people? But the burden was just there. It still was welling up every day. Got to a point he realized that, wow, these mad people, they really need attention. These are human beings like us. Something really has to be done. As soon as he began to catch up with God on that burden that God was laying in her heart, before you know it, she put up resignation and left. And people thought she was mad. But go and see what the Lord has used her to do today. Lives have been transformed through that response to that body that God laid in her heart. So you have to understand that this thing called body is one of the commonest ways I've discovered that God uses to drive people into their purpose in life. So the question is this now. Check yourself very well. What is that body you have? What do you have body for? Have you looked at a particular sector of our life, our nation, and then something is telling you, do something about this. Do something about this problem. Do something about this challenge. It has been there in your heart for a long time. Whenever you look at it, you say, wow, it's a wonderful thing if it could be done. So I'm asking you, what are you waiting for? Why have you not accepted it? Please, if you discover that it's a burden that the Lord has laid in your heart, and that when that thing is done, wow, you're gonna meet needs, it's gonna help life, it's gonna bring about transformation, why don't you go ahead and see it as God driving you into your purpose in life? So that is where I'll stop this one for today. Take time to listen over again to what I've just said. Because of time, I can't give too many illustrations, but this is just to summarize it. The topic I started 3 episodes ago, how God reveals His purpose. This one is talking about body. God can use the body He lays in our hearts to drive us into our purpose in life. I'm telling you, it is the commonest ways for me that I know God uses people. Pushes people into their purpose. So please ask yourself, what have you done about the one God has laid in your heart? Don't delay. Go ahead. Start praying about it and let God show you how it's going to help you to accomplish it. So I want to stop here for today. As usual, I want to ask you to please make your comments. Let us see your comments as well as suggestions, contributions you have to make to enable us learn more also. My contacts are on the screen, my email and my phone numbers. Feel free to reach me on them. I'll wait for your response. And then also don't forget to help us share with your contact as well. Let them know of this program so that they too can subscribe and begin to be a part of us as we all learn together. And then subscribe in case you have not done so. Join us, subscribe, share. That's what I'm trying to say. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you have learned something good. Next time, please join us again in the next episode. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.